It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Saturday, the 1st of November. I'm Michael Groff. It's a brand new month, but it's the same old weather pattern around here. Dry conditions, temperatures to remain a bit above average, at least through much of this upcoming week. When might this weather pattern change? Well, there are signs way out there toward the middle part of this month that we could see kind of a flip-flop of this very persistent weather pattern that we've been stuck in here for the last couple of weeks. What might that bring for our weather? We'll talk about that plus everything else going on too as we dive on in and discuss. First, let's check out that almanac for yesterday. 88 degrees was the afternoon high officially here in Phoenix after a morning low of 64. 83 and 60 are the averages for this time of year. Luckily, nowhere near that record high temperature of 96 degrees. I was here for that back in 1988. We finished the month of October well above average on rainfall. And we are, of course, above average for the year, which, even if we didn't get another drop of rain for the next 2 months, we would still finish the year 2025 slightly above our annual average precipitation. Looking outside right now here at 11:35 a.m., sunny sky out there. We're sitting at 79 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 39, relative humidity 24%. The winds are light, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west. We put this in motion. Mostly clear sky across Arizona. The main storm track remains to the north of us, as has been the case for quite some time, and will remain so. There is a weak wave that will be approaching from the west on Monday, and that should give us some increase in clouds. We'll talk about that in modeling, but for now, with high pressure in control and heights above average, well, that means temperatures are going to remain above average as well. Here's the watch warning map. We got some freeze warnings over parts of the nation's heartland, Kansas, Missouri, some of the adjacent states, some frost advisories as well, some wind up across the Intermountain West. But for the most part, things are pretty quiet across much of the nation. Convective outlook for today, we've got this slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 around Corpus Christi, with a marginal risk extending into South Texas around Brownsville. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, now that Melissa is gone, it is quiet, and it looks like it will remain quiet for the foreseeable future. Out in the East Pacific, we've got a little tropical wave out here. We're not going to really get too concerned about this. It may develop into a brief something, but for the most part, conditions quiet. Of course, reminder, hurricane season does run through the end of November, but right now, sure looks like the tropics are going to bed early. We'll see, though. Looking at precipitation around here for the next 7 days from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, nothing. As, again, the main storm track stays away from us, and this is not completely unheard of here in the first part of November. Our winter storm season doesn't usually start to pick up until later this month, which there are signs that might start to happen. Let's take a look at the models, see what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, here we go to the GFS. This is the 12Z run valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. Big trough across the southeast U.S. and the east, and of course, cool fall air. They've had quite a bit of precipitation over the last several days down there. Another round of some strong storms for parts of the Texas coast. But for us, we're on the other side of the coin here with high pressure in control above average heights. And so what it means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today with that dry west to northwesterly flow aloft, sunny sky, a very warm afternoon with highs anywhere from 85 to 90 across most of the lower deserts. Mountains will see highs in the 60s and 70s, so above average, but not record-breaking by any means. For tonight, the sky is clear and with dry air, we'll cool off to near seasonal low temperatures, mostly in the 50s to about the low 60s for the urban core. So mostly in the upper 20s and 30s across the high country. And then for tomorrow, it's basically the same forecast, sunny, warm, highs mid 80s to low 90s over the lower deserts. On Monday, a weak little short wave is going to come our way, and we'll see some increase in high clouds with this, especially across central and northern Arizona. We'll call it partly cloudy here in Phoenix with high temperatures, still managing to sneak into the mid and upper 80s, so any clouds we have really won't slow down the warmth, and we don't anticipate any real meaningful chances of precipitation with that feature. That'll move on by, and Tuesday will continue with mostly clear sky, warm conditions, high temperatures again in the mid to upper 80s in Phoenix, and the warmest desert spots could touch 90. Temps will trend down just ever so slightly as we go through the rest of the week. Highs mid to upper 80s on Wednesday, mid 80s Thursday, low to mid 80s on Friday. As we'll see a couple of storm systems passing by to the north, and the upper heights should trend down just a little bit. But other than that, we see no real meaningful chances of precipitation, no real changes in the overall weather pattern yet. But a week from today, this is Saturday, the 8th. Pretty nice looking vortex over eastern Canada, and a short wave going through the Great Lakes and down into the eastern part of the country, but still high pressure persists here in the southwest. Heights are above average. We've got another trough approaching the Pacific Northwest. And so what was kind of a de-amplified pattern for most of this upcoming week will once again start to amplify across North America. So high temperatures around here will again be somewhere in the low to mid 80s. This is Sunday the 9th. Troughing over the Pacific Northwest, mainly north of Arizona. The heights may come down just a little bit here, so highs will retreat back to the low 80s in Phoenix in all probability in that setup. This is the end of the forecast period Monday, the 10th of November, and another wave goes into the northern plain states. We've got another trough off the Pacific Northwest coast, and that for the moment stays to the north of us, a dry west-northwesterly flow here, and so that spells dry conditions and temperatures holding just a little bit above seasonal averages. However, let's take a trot way out there into fantasy land if we can here. Let's go to the European AI model. This is out at Friday, the 14th of November, and it shows a very deep upper low here coming into the southwest United States, right along the California coast. And if that's right, we would see much cooler temperatures and increasing chances of precipitation out here. Now you might say, okay, Mike, yeah, I know what you're doing here. This is one of those deterministic model runs that you're just cherry picking to show any chance of precipitation or the pattern changing. Not really. We have seen all of our deterministic models hinting at a pretty good flip in the pattern for a while now, several runs in a row. And when we look out here at this distance, we're not looking at specifics. Of course not, because that would be madness. What we're looking at are trends, and we have seen a definitive trend toward a pattern change. Now, does that mean it's going to happen? No, we're still way out here in fantasy land, but we're just watching for that possibility. And let's further this point out here a little bit as we go to precipitation for the next 15 days. This is out through the 15th of the month off the GFS ensemble. You got 31 members here. Very few of them show any precipitation. Any of them are out at and beyond 10 days for the most part. European, again, beyond 10 days, some of the members start lighting up with some very low precipitation amounts. European AI, though, continues to be a little bit more bullish, again, out beyond 10 days. Showing precipitation coming up here with the ensemble mean about a quarter of an inch, just above a quarter of an inch. Now, yes, it's a fool's errand to try and really pin down any sort of forecast or any certainty out here beyond 10 days. But this is just a trend. So we'll see how the other ensembles start to push with this trend as well. And we'll take a look at those teleconnections and see how the oscillations, the Arctic oscillation, the North Pacific oscillation starts to change as we go toward the middle and latter part of the month, because there are signs that the door could open to deeper troughing coming into the west and maybe the southwest United States. All right, looking at temperatures off the national blend of models. And again, we're going to stay above average this weekend, this upcoming week, even next weekend, albeit with highs trending down. Keeping in mind, though, that the average high for this time of the year, at least the first couple of days in November, low 80s, and then those average highs start getting down to the 70s as we go out there a few more days. So, yes, these numbers are still just a bit above average. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here and you want to support the channel, well, please do consider clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make a monetary contribution to us that way, or via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description, so be sure to check that out. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona Weather Discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Also, our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun over there. And check out the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files needs. Why would you check that channel out? Because it's a great channel, lots of content, and Dan does a very good job running that. But for another week, I am still at the helm over there because Dan is on vacation. His daughter, Megan, is getting married today, I believe. So again, congratulations to her. But I'll be running the live show this upcoming week, 10 a.m. East, 7 a.m. Pacific here in Arizona. That's 8 a.m. For that live show over the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. And, of course, Sidebar, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It's amazing. It is so greatly appreciated. Please, want you to be safe still. Even with these warmer temperatures, yeah, you still have to stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a delightful rest of your Saturday.